Welcome to the Thought Balloons podcast. I am your host, Jeff Folsham. With me today is co-host and friend, artist, and Twitch streamer extraordinaire, I Can Be Danny. Danny, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Oh my God, dude. That was really professional. I'm really excited and a little nervous now.
I try to be professional with the introductions and stuff. You know, we got to let people know what you do right off the bat.
I like that. When does that fade away? When do you start? When do you come down from like your professional radio voice to like? Does that ever happen? Midway through, do you just start going? Ugh?
Yeah, no. This is yeah. I talk like this the entire podcast. This is my normal voice that I speak with every.
And then about halfway through, I drop the facade and it's just like this whole time. Yeah, like
yeah, that's what I was at. Yep, that's
sorry,
what I was looking
the
for.
grease on my nose. I got to push my glasses up.
No, it's just you got to have some kind of edifice to start the show, right?
Of course,
you got to have like a little.
No,
like,
it was so good.
Official.
I wasn't. I hope you didn't think I was making fun of it, dude. It was so good.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so since we're starting, what better place to start than the beginning? I know you are an amazing artist. I really, really like your style. I ask a lot of artists this: how did you get interested in art? Like, how did you start? Like, what is your origin story?
So, I like the origin story. Origin story is the best for everyone. Usually. But my sister is 8 years older than me, and I used to just watch her draw, and I used to trace her letters, and my dad's too, like just like their writing, because I liked how their letters looked, and like a weirdo, like that seems like kind of like what maybe a serial killer does. But I guess if it's your own family, it's not so bad. Maybe they thought it was cute, or they're like, here's the weirdo. He's like
just trying to learn how to write.
Yeah. Who's this weirdo tracing over my drawings? Like, do your own stuff. Nerd. Come on, draw, dude. But yeah, I used to just watch her draw.
That's how you got into forgery, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I write all these checks that I can't cash. But yeah, I just used to, and then we would draw a little bit, but since she's like 8 years older than me, pretty soon it wasn't cool to hang out with your little brother,
right?
Like pretty quick.
No, I have the same thing. My sisters are 8 and 10 years older than me.
Yeah. So then like I was just left basically when they're that much older than you, you're like an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it was just a lot of drawing and playing with Legos.
Nice.
So like, dude, Legos are the best. Everyone already knows that. But then when you get tired of chewing on the bricks, you gotta go. You gotta get out the pencils and draw Pokemon.
Right.
Over and over again.
So okay, so I think we're around the same age.
Yeah.
So who's speaking of we gotta ask. You brought up Pokemon. Who's your starter?
The starter is tough. I think every kid that age, people lie about it. People say they picked Bulbasaur, but everyone was picking Charmander. Nobody.
See, I'm a Squirtle. I picked Squirtle, man.
No way. Your first ever was Squirtle?
100%. Well, I was when I got Pokemon, it was blue version and Blastoise was on the box, so I picked Squirtle.
Yeah, that's true.
And
think
now
blue
I
version
now I
was my
love my
first
little
one
squirt
too.
boy. I like my little squirt boy. Little
Yeah,
turtle.
I mean,
I also
nothing
liked
beats
turtles
Turtle
as a
Tank.
kid. I also liked turtles as a kid. So
Oh,
there's that
okay.
too.
I was never a really big animal guy, so I just wanted cool fire dragon.
Fair.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if those were the good days where you didn't really have the internet. All you had was maybe a comic book that you saw, like a Pokemon comic book of your buddies, and the cards and the show, if you were lucky enough to see a lot of the show. But I don't think you knew a lot of the final evolutions.
Yeah, but you'd have to like play a lot of the game in order to like
Right.
get that far.
And you couldn't just look it up. Like now, like I played that most recent Pokemon one and I just was looking up everything. It's like, what does this look like? Is
Yeah.
it worth it? Does it look cool? No, it's stupid. Okay, I don't want it.
Yeah, I've yet to get a Switch, but I want to just so I can play the new Pokemon game.
I didn't like it at all.
Oh, really?
But maybe it's because I'm old.
That's fair.
But like, I hated it.
Damn.
Well, hate's a pretty strong word. I played it all. The story, I mean, again, it's Pokemon. But I think now that I'm older, like I need a little bit more of a story. And it's just typical lame Pokemon stuff, you know? But I like.
Yeah, I feel
that
like
being said, Sun and Moon is like better.
I don't think I've played either of those either.
That one's pretty good.
I may have played those on emulator, maybe.
Yeah. Whoa. What'd you say?
I said I totally purchased those legitimately and
there you go.
Gave Nintendo all my money.
Very good. You better not be saying that stuff. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, no, totally. I rented it from my local West Coast video.
Oh, those were the days. Did you rent video games a lot when you were a kid?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
My parents didn't want to buy me anything like that.
What are a few that you remember renting? Either you hated them or you liked them.
One that I really, really liked was the Jet Set Radio. Where you like, I believe that was like the rollerblading, spray paint, like tagging,
the graffiti thing.
Yeah, you go around tagging stuff. Like that was
sick
pretty
music
fun.
On there.
Yeah, like that was really cool. And then one of the ones that I just like didn't get into was literally any of the like JRPGs. Like I'm still not really a huge fan of anime art styles and stuff. So like
yeah,
I'd like picked up Final Fantasy without like knowing what it was, because I still liked fantasy stuff, like, you know, like dragons and swords and magic and stuff, but like I'm not a fan of like turn-based combat and like all that kind of stuff. Like, so
I used to be a fan of that a little bit, but not anymore. I don't know if there's just not. I think, you know, kind of like what we were talking about before we started. I think I definitely. I don't know if it's possible even, and if there's a scientist listening or a doctor, they're gonna hate me. But I'm pretty sure with the internet, I've developed some sort of attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
You know, and like I only have like Vine in my 20s to thank for that, and everything else that just made it, you know, because now we can just click on anything.
Yeah.
And it's there. We don't have to like wait. There's no patience. We stare at a camera all day and talking to it on Twitch. And when we get bored, that's when we end the stream. Like,
right. Yeah. Like yesterday for me, it was like 45 minutes in and I struggled to get to an hour, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
right.
Like, I can't go longer than this today. Sorry, guys. Like,
and then I try to go interact with people, like my family and stuff, and I just get like, I'm so antsy. It's like, why is stuff happening quicker?
Yeah, why? What is this life thing?
I have to wait for my food to cook? This is crazy.
Ugh. The graphics are so lifelike, but it's like the entire thing's a commercial. There's all the chasings and explosions.
Yeah, there's not enough explosions in real life, which is probably good.
Yeah, no, that's probably like, all things considered, it's probably a benefit to us.
Yeah, that there's not more explosions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It would be more exciting, but probably a lot more dangerous to the main characters.
A game that I used to rent all the time was Ape Escape.
Ape Escape. I don't think
Yeah.
I've played that. Is
I
that
don't
a
remember
Nintendo
much
game?
about it other than there was I think it was just a platformer with you were a monkey with a glowing light on your head. And I don't remember much more about it. But it sticks with me. And I don't know why. What does it mean? Are you a therapist by chance?
Legally, I'm not allowed to say
So
that
you
I
can't
am.
answer my question?
I think there's probably some deep-seated trauma there.
Oh no. Oh no.
You
Okay, I don't want to know anymore.
did did the monkey look at you funny, Danny?
I wish. I don't know.
Show me on this teddy bear where the monkey.
I don't.
That might be that's probably not something we should joke about.
No, probably not. But
Yes.
you just keep moving.
Yeah, well, let's see.
You just cut that part out.
Yeah, we'll get that in the edit. Don't worry.
Start talking.
What editing? I like
horrible stuff.
I like do an EQ pass, and that's about it. Like I'm
Yeah.
too lazy to cut things out of this. Let's be real. But like so video games. I played a lot of like Zelda as a kid, and one thing I can remember like getting into art and stuff was looking at the original like artwork for Zelda in the manual that came in the game,
Those
and
were the
I
good
would
old days.
try to draw Link. Do you have you ever done that as a kid? Like look at the video game manuals and like try and draw the characters?
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, it was always the Pokemon for me. But for a while, for a long time. And then it was a lot of what was it? I used to
World
just-
of Warcraft. You were
Yeah, you're right.
big
It was that for a little bit. That was more I think I was a little older when that started getting real popular. So I'd be drawing like dude Murlocs, dude. I still draw a lot of Murlocs. Well, that's all I draw now is like demon. I love drawing demons and goblins, dude. Because you could do whatever you want with them.
That is true. Dude, I mean, I have like a kind of like a style for the goblins that like I have in my comic and stuff, but they're so fun to draw. Like, I don't know. But they are like one of those monsters where like anybody can have like their own particular way of drawing a goblin. Call it a goblin, and everyone's like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love about it. You could just like throw an arm hanging out of its mouth and you're like, yeah, that's a goblin.
And
if I don't like to
everyone's
look
like,
at it, it's a goblin.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's like weird and creepy,
that's a goblin.
It's a goblin. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sometimes you can call it an orc. I don't really know the difference, I guess.
I mean, orcs are just taller, more muscular goblins.
Typically
right?
strong goblins.
Yeah. I mean, all the D&D people that listen to this are gonna hate us for saying.
Oh, they are. They're not gonna like that. Orcs are strong goblins and trolls are tall goblins.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, they're different colors, they're different races. You can't.
Come
they're
on, you're
classified
mixing it
different."
all up. Shut up. Stop it. You're hurting my head. Cut it out.
And the Lord of the Rings nerds is gonna be like, clearly the orcs are made by Sauron in the mud.
Do they have trolls in Lord of the Rings?
I think so. Yeah, wasn't there that thing that was like beating up on Frodo in the Mines of Moria? That big,
the
dude
huge
with the
one.
flat face. Wasn't that a troll?
Yeah, technically. I don't know. I always think of World of Warcraft trolls.
Yeah, little
So I have no
Jamaican
idea.
accent, like lanky little limbs.
Yeah, right.
Big old noses.
They're kind of tall, but they have hunchback. They'd be a
Yeah,
lot taller if they just stood up straight.
right.
They probably have a hunchback because they have bad chairs.
They have Oh, see, and I just thought it was just like a racial trait for scoliosis.
Oh, they're all just born with scoliosis.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
That would be the worst.
That would be the absolute
Be the
worst.
worst. Oh man, I don't know. I like murdering trolls and orcs in World of Warcraft.
Are you a what's an alliance guy?
Yeah, I'm so basic. I played a fucking human prot warrior.
Yeah, dude. My first character on there. So my buddy got way into it, and I was kind of late to the game.
Mhm.
And I still have like really fond memories of walking up to Stormwind for my first time.
Hell
Just
yeah.
like, whoa, what? The
It's
game
like-
didn't even start yet. Whoa. And, you know, it was like, I was pretty, I don't remember how young I was. Was I high school, like early high school, maybe when I started? I don't remember. But yeah, I remember walking up, spending all this time in the forest, you know, just being real
Mhm.
slow at the game, not good, and killing each wolf. And, like, yeah, walking up to Storm when the music starts, there's big statues. You're like, oh boy.
That is a big memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that was so cool. But yeah, my first
There's
character was a human rogue,
Mhm.
and I remember going to Game FAQs and asking something, and I spelled rogue wrong. I spelled it as
The
rouge.
rouge, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody just made fun of me. No one answered the question. And I don't remember the question, but I bet it's still not answered.
Probably not. No.
Probably someone's
internet
still making fun of me.
Is really bad about that. Like that happens like a lot. When I used to use Facebook, like I was in like a bunch of like D&D groups and stuff, and like that was like the biggest like thing is like anytime someone like said rouge instead of rogue, like 90% of the comments are like, it's fucking rogue, dumbass. Like,
Yeah, you just go off on this poor guy who's just asking an easy question.
like, how many dice is my sneak attack? And you're just like, it's fucking rogue, mother.
It's rogue, stupid. What are you doing?
Yeah, what
Makeup?
you doing? Fucking yeah. What are you?
You selling Mary Kay? I
I'm
don't
not
want
gonna
any
get
of
you-
it.
I'm not buying into your pyramid scheme.
Dude, we need to start an art pyramid scheme. I don't know how.
I was just gonna say, like,
But we gotta do
how
it.
do we do this?
Just gotta do it. You gotta start selling product to
I'll
boss
sell
babes.
you. Yeah, I'll
Boss
sell
artist
you
babes.
my oil paints and at wholesale, and then
Yeah.
you sell those to other people,
Yeah.
and then give me a percentage of the sale.
But these are good CBD oil paints. They make you live forever.
yeah. CBD oil paints.
Yeah, there's
Ooh.
no poison in them. What's the poison? I can't remember.
Yeah, lead,
Yeah, everything.
cadmium,
All cadmium, yeah, all of it.
every mercury, it's
Everything
all-
in it.
Yeah, literally everything. Walnut seed oil.
Is that bad?
I don't know. It could be. You know what? In like 10 years, it probably will be.
Yeah. Well, now they make stuff so like. Do you do a lot of traditional stuff?
I used to like.
Yeah.
That's like I got my degree in like 2D.
Yeah.
Like it was all traditional stuff. I had like one digital art class, but I do mostly digital stuff now because I'm like lazy and it's easier.
And it's cheaper, and you don't get messy, and you don't have tons of supplies everywhere. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a tackle box next to my desk full of like watercolors and like a couple tubes of acrylics and stuff.
Well, there ain't nothing like busting out the watercolors, doing like a little ink drawing. That's
mhm.
nice.
Yeah, like out of the traditional stuff, I prefer doing like traditional inking and doing watercolor over it. Like that's what I like.
I got so deep into digital art these days where it's like impossible for me to ink. Like I have like no confidence anymore with it.
Well, like you also use like you have like a really clean art style too.
Yeah, that's what's
Like,
tough. Is as soon as I get into traditional stuff, it's like you gotta like, okay, that clean stuff's gotta go.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you ready to? We gotta get a little grungy up in here. We just gotta make a mess and be okay with it.
Also,
Uh,
like I see like on new streams, like a lot of the time you like use the symmetry tool, which how do you do that traditionally?
yeah, you don't get to.
Yeah.
The symmetry is kind of a crutch, at least for streaming, because I can at least. My biggest thing when I'm streaming is you'll be sketching something or working on something and it doesn't look like anything yet. Well, it looks
Mhm.
like something, but it doesn't look good. And what's nice about just throwing down a symmetry tool is like it looks like something damn near out of the gate.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it, because I always feel like if you're watching this and you don't know what he's doing, like, what's this guy doing? I don't. What's he trying to? I hate this. And then you click out. At least I would. You just get confused and your brain explodes and you gotta go.
Yeah, I've used the I feel like I've meant to but haven't added a channel point reward yet to do random shape drawings.
Oh
And
yeah.
for those I'd like to slap on a vertical symmetry and then close my eyes and do a little scribble. I picked it up from Friendin.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But yeah, you like close your eyes or put a blindfold on, do a little scribble with a vertical symmetry, and then you look at the scribble and you try to like pick a character out of it. Those are
That's
really
pretty
fun.
cool.
Yeah,
Seems
those are cool.
difficult. I always like to do the blob exercise, which is pretty similar.
Yeah, yeah. I like
That's
doing blobs. I use like a spatter brush and like we'll just tap it on the screen a few times or do a little scribble on it, and that's how I like to draw the land masses for fantasy maps. I'll just like
Oh,
I'd be like, oh, cool. Here's like I like this dot and this dot, and I kind of like connect the ones that like kind of like trace around the outsides of like them, to like figure out like what a cool like organic landmass shape could be.
that's a really good idea. Like, does the work for you almost.
Oh yeah, it's like way easier because I have like the worst sort of like, how do I draw a continent? They always end up looking like some weird deformed shrimp. Because
Yeah,
like
I
I
feel
don't
like
want
I
to
would just
just
start scribbling and it'd be like huge. Like just an island, but no
yeah
like flair
yeah
to it. No peninsulas or anything.
yeah
No
that's
like
definitely like a part
other
of it
words I
is
can't
like
remember from geography class.
yeah. But it sounds like the thing is like when you're starting out, or at least my like when I was starting out doing fantasy maps and stuff, like when I first started DMing, it was always just like, oh, that's just like a potato. Or then you're like try and like get some variance in it, and so you like put a bay in there somewhere, and well now it's just like a crescent. It's like weird, some kind of, like I said, a deformed shrimp. Like it is sort of what they come out like if I'm just doing it by hand, like without any kind of organic under drawing.
I would totally move to Shrimp Land.
This is just like really fat on one end, it's kind of curvy, it thins out in the middle, and then it gets a little bit thicker at the other end. It's just like literally just like like I say, they look like deformed shrimp. So
That
now I
sounds
use the
great.
spatter brush technique and it's a lot more variable. But yeah.
Is there like tons of shrimp at Deformed Shrimp Land?
I
Just
mean,
trying to
there's a lot of
think.
water, so probably.
Oh, I'm in
Yeah.
then. I love shrimps. Who doesn't love shrimps? Do you like shrimps?
I like a good like a cooked shrimp, like if it's
Yeah.
like shrimp scampi or something like that, or like in an
Oh
egg
yeah.
roll. I like a breaded popcorn shrimp. The one
Of
thing I
course.
can't get behind anymore is like shrimp cocktail, like just cold,
Just
like
cold meat.
yeah, just cold shrimp. I can't like this isn't a humble brag or anything. It's just a simple fact. Like, my dad's a doctor. He worked really, really late on Friday nights. But it afforded us a little bit of the finer things in life. And what we used to do on Friday nights is we would have hors d'oeuvres instead of like an actual meal, just like a bunch of finger foods and like eat
Oh
in front
hell
of the
yeah.
TV. And my mom and dad really like shrimp cocktail. And so every Friday growing up as a kid, we'd have shrimp cocktail, like almost every single week. It was like 50 times a year. And
Just
I just can't anymore.
tons of shrimp.
I don't hate it. It's just like I'm just like, okay, yeah, I've had that. Like I'm
Yeah.
over it, you know. Same
Right.
thing with broccoli. Like that was one of the things my one sister like was like the only vegetable she'd eat. So we'd have it 3 times a week, and I'm just like,
Really? Just
eh.
huge into broccoli.
Yeah, like broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus are like the only like the only vegetables she'll eat.
What? You never hear that though.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Like
just
those
weird.
are the vegetables I like, are the ones that everybody else hates.
Yeah.
I'm totally down with broccoli though. I was never picky. My sister was really picky. And what I
Mhm.
don't get though, do kids not like broccoli because that's what media tells them to like? Like I've been trying to figure this out recently actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
I never
like,
hated broccoli. I'm
but
again, it's just like
it doesn't
tired of it.
taste bad.
Yeah, like people say it tastes like farts, and I don't get it. Like,
Right.
like, what do you mean? First of all, why are you tasting farts?
Well,
But
first of all, that's hilarious. Because yeah, they're eating farts, dude.
yeah,
Like, why are you eating farts? That's weird, but it's
the
kind
only
of
thing I
cool.
can imagine is they had an older brother close in age that wrestled them to the ground and then fart in their mouth. Like,
Or maybe they wrestled them to the ground and farted in their broccoli,
maybe,
and that's why it tastes like
maybe.
farts.
Funny, funny story though. Like, one of my best friends as a kid was the middle child of his family. He had a brother that was like a year and a half older and a younger brother that was a year and a half younger than him. And I literally at their house, we were playing Mario Kart. It was like Rainbow Road, the original N64.
Hell yeah.
And Mike like bumped Chris off the side, and Chris got so mad. He was the older brother, literally wrestled Mike to the ground and farted in his face.
Oh,
I was freaked out because, like, like growing up as basically an only child and your siblings are so much older than you, never happened.
no,
And I mean, I don't know if you have a brother. Like, I don't have a brother.
no.
So I never had like any of that sort of like physical competition in like
Right.
siblings.
Never.
So it was really weird anytime I was over at their house and they would like get into a physical altercation, especially over something like a video game.
Right.
Just so weird.
That's hilarious. I really like that. I think we missed out on that kind of thing.
I'm kind of glad that I missed out on that. I don't need to be wrestled to the ground and then farted upon.
I don't know. It seems like a good learning moment. Like, don't do that to your brother or he'll fart in your face. Or maybe do it more.
And learn how to
Because,
fight back.
yeah. Because then you can just be like, you can tell on him. Be a tattletale. And then
Oh,
maybe
man,
that's
that
more
it
farts.
just makes it worse.
Yeah. What if you like farts?
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I'll have to, I'll make a note. I'll have to text Mike and be like, hey, we were just thinking.
Yeah. Hey, do you like farts now?
Do you like farts? Is that what you like a little on the weekend?
Did you ever do something just to piss your brother off just so he'd fart in your mouth? Just wondering. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, dude? How's the fart game?
I like that a lot. And you just don't talk to him for like another few months.
Yeah. No, I mean, I probably haven't talked to him in like a year.
Yeah. Well, dude, why? Okay, so like the pandemic, I hate talking about it, but like made it so like you couldn't go outside. But then for some reason, I like didn't call my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on with that? I recently just got better at contacting people just to see how they're doing. But man, that was...
Yo, pandemic. You still alive?
Yeah, right. I kind of like snapped back to real life for a moment there. Or I really left it for a moment because of it.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I didn't really have that issue because I've always had that issue. If I'm not actively interacting with people on like a standard schedule, I'm very bad at reaching out to people.
Yeah.
I'm not like, it's not that I don't care about them or I'm not interested in them or dislike them anymore. I'm just really bad at being the instigator of communication
Right.
between people. So a lot of the times when I'm the one instigating communication, it's because like we're doing a thing, you know? Like I messaged like my gaming groups and stuff because we're actively like in games together. And then I'm talking about the game, right?
Yeah.
I'm very bad at like messaging people and being like, "Hey, how's the family? Like
Right.
how's your day been going?" Like, I don't know. It's not that I don't care about that kind of stuff. It's just it doesn't cross my mind to reach out and ask about that stuff.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a
So,
little bit
yeah.
better at that because I found out that that's what some people really dig that. Dig
Yeah.
talking.
That's the thing is like I think, as I get older, I get more, I was like mentioning this the other day is like I, when I was like a musician in high school and stuff, edgy and teen angst and stuff. I was like, I would die at 27, like
Right. That's what everyone thought.
Morrison and Cobain and Hendrix and Joplin, and and that didn't happen. And like ever since then, I've like really realized, like, man, I was a selfish prick. Like,
Yeah. Right.
and so like I've been working on that. And yeah, I don't know, like talking about like reaching out and just mentioning like life, just how's life going kind of stuff is like
Yeah.
I always appreciate that when people ask me. So maybe I should like be
Yeah.
better at reaching
Dude,
out. And
I was the
asking other
exact
people.
same way. I was like, yeah, I'm totally out of here, young. Like, why did I think I was so tight? Like, wasn't that cool? I still have shit to do. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't making anything good. I was just an asshole.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are a lot of things I regret from high school.
Right.
I was like very controlling in like the creative spaces. Um, so like it was really hard for me in like the last year of being in a band to like relinquish composition to like the other members of the band. Like I used to just compose all of the music and all like the lyrics and everything of all of our music that we did.
And be like,
And
this
like
is
in the
what we're gonna
last
do.
year, I sort of like people were like, "Hey, can like I try writing my own stuff for the songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, you're like, wait, I haven't thought of that. That's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I guess try it.
I mean, it was more of just like again, it's just like a control thing. Like,
Yeah, I get
I don't
that
know.
completely.
And like part of it was like I had spent a lot of time like reading about like music theory and taking music lessons and like really studying how to like compose the songs and like studying and breaking down like bands that I liked and what they were doing. And like I didn't notice like the other people in my band like obsessing over it like that. So I was like, I guess worried at some point like they were just gonna phone it in or something. And it turned out fine. Like it turned out fine. Like I wasn't writing anything super amazing or anything,
Right. It's so funny that it's kind of sucks that it takes that long or this long to realize that really we weren't that great. We're just kind of jerks. Like,
Yeah.
you could have let
can-
someone else. We could have like just think of the collaborations you could have did at that age too.
Right?
Like when everyone had nothing but time.
Yeah. Man, teenagers suck.
Yeah, they do.
Holy
That's
man.
real.
But okay, so that brings up a question I wanted to ask you. How did you get the moniker the world's oldest teenager?
Oh, that comes from my wife. Recently she was making fun of me how I like haven't grown up. And by recently I mean in the last like 3-4 years. And she's like, yeah, you're like a teenager. And I said back to her, no, I'm the world's oldest teenager. And I thought it was hilarious. So I just went with it because I think part of you, I've always I think you got to grow up just enough to pay the bills. And then the rest of it, like whatever. If that's what you like, if that's what you're into, like I'm into the goofy stuff, and I always have been.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I've been told, like, why don't you grow up and do something? It's like, no, I don't want to do that kind of art. Let me do something weird. Like, farts are hilarious to me. I could talk about farts
Sure.
forever until other people are like, dude, this guy needs to grow up. But
There's so much depth.
right. But that, I don't know what's happened. It's just like that. Maybe at some point that was supposed to leave, and it never left me. Like I still even remember in college meeting people and talking about like weird, just bathroom talk, and people being like, what's wrong with you? You're like, wait, you don't think that's funny? That's hilarious. So
yeah, I think at some point there's like a sort of cultural thing where like people just want to take themselves too seriously or whatever.
But also like good for those guys, I guess, because everyone's got their own interests. Just my interest is just bathroom talk, basically, where which is maybe that's kind of comes up kind of sad. What makes you truly happy, Danny? I don't know, like poop. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, farts.
Yeah, farts did. Pee-pee.
Boogers.
Yeah, boogers did. Like vomit. That's funny. I think it also comes from like when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to watch South Park or like Ren and Stimpy for a while.
Yeah.
And like every kid probably. So for me, that was like, I remember going over to my buddy's house at the time, and he had older brothers. So like he had like we were playing the first Grand Theft Auto, and there was literally a fart button. Like you would walk past, remember it was like that top down game, and you'd like walk past, and I think you could burp or fart with this button, and then the AI would swear at you, and I was like, what? You can play this on your TV? And like he had not the Beastie Boys, but what band did the You and Me Baby Ain't Nothing But Mammals?
Oh, the Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah, he had like that record or album, and I remember listening to that and be like, what? You can listen to this stuff at your house, dude? And for me, it was always like, that was like the cool stuff. Like you can go, dude, can we play the fart game? I can't play that at my house.
Yeah, I had like a brief window of time where my parents weren't wise or hip to the jive or whatever the kids are saying these days. And I had like the original Grand Theft Auto. I had like the first Mortal Kombat.
Hell yeah.
So I have like an older cousin who like came to live with us for like 2 years. And my oldest sister, they were not the best of influences on me as a kid. I can remember being like 8 to 10 years old, getting those kinds of video games from them. Bloodhound Gang was like a thing, Offspring, Eminem,
Hell yeah.
all those like things like an 8 to 10 year old probably shouldn't be like
no, definitely not
getting, like exposed to. And like there was like that summer, there was like around that age, there was like a summer of just like, what?
Yeah.
This is so cool. And then like my parents found all that shit, and like I got in trouble, and then they got in trouble, and like it was like all taken away, and, like melted, like melt the CDs and like all that shit. But like, yeah, that was definitely a sort of like, I don't know. I mean, I still think all that stuff's funny too. Like,
yeah. Well, I swear, dude, it comes from just not being able to have that when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's like I can buy it. I can listen to this all day. There's no rules.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is just be able to pay rent, and hopefully I can make this the slime art sell a little bit, and then I can draw a whole month.
I think that's why I ate nothing but McDonald's when I went to film school, because like my parents wouldn't let me eat fast food when I was a kid.
Yep.
And the McDonald's was like 2 blocks away from my apartment, and the commissary on campus was like on the opposite side of campus from where my apartment was. And I was like, well, I can just hop in my car and do the drive-through at McDonald's, which is only like gonna take me like 5 minutes, and I'll be back at my like apartment playing World of Warcraft and eating burgers. Or I could take like an hour and a half to walk across campus, eat food, and walk back. And I was like,
I'll go to
burgers,
McDonald's.
burgers. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's so funny how that works out.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. It's, you can't win for losing as a parent, I feel like looking back though. Like, if you deprive your kids of anything, they're just gonna like go
Right.
way too far into that thing when they're older. And if you're too permissive about stuff, then kids don't learn any kind of like self-control anyway. It's just
Right.
whatever.
Well, that's why I'm a little thankful. Like, I got away with like drinking and stuff, smoking in high school, because you'd see some of these kids, dude, that got into college, and they would just go hard, you know, and just never be the same, or never like finish their first semester. And I was always, it sounds so lame, but I was always thankful that I had a little bit of that under my belt already. So I knew what it did, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like a huge troublemaker, but I was kind of in, you know, the skateboard scene and the jackass stuff and all that. And so like I hung around with some kids that were always smoking at the skate park, or had a couple of beers in their backpack. So I was always thankful that I was around that stuff, and I knew how to handle myself around it.
Did you like have you say like skate park? Did you have like a big skate park where you grew up?
Nah, it was like a pretty little junky one, and I was never good. I was always the kid that just kind of hung around. Like, I was the kid. I was more of like the like, you know, there was the Bam Margera's, the guys that could actually skate, and then I was more like the Bam Margera's friend that would, you know, you could kick in the nuts or something, you know? Like, I was there for the comedic part.
So like, did you have a skateboard? Did you
I had a skateboard, and I would like kind of ride it and mostly crash a lot and get hurt and whatever, but I was never good, and I never really tried. And I could kind of get by with a few tricks here and there, but I never like sat down and practiced, you know?
Yeah, I got into skating because of the Tony Hawk games.
Hell yeah.
The one thing that I was like super into in like later Tony Hawk games, I don't know if they did it in like the original Tony Hawk 1, if they had like a lot of flat ground stuff, but like the Caspers and like the Pogos and like all like the weird, just like old school tricks were like really fascinating to me. So that's what I got into. It was like freestyle skating.
That's awesome.
And all of my friends were like street skating or like vert skating, and still making fun of me because like, I don't know, but like I was still like obviously like, I wasn't as fat as, you know, in high school as I am now, but like I was still like a bigger kid. And so like, I don't know, like doing, you know, ollieing up onto rails and like launching off of ramps and stuff was not like, I was not built for that.
Yeah,
but like,
right.
I had a very low center of gravity. So like, I can remember like we had this one parking lot that had like a kind of just a slight downhill grade to it. Like it was still pretty flat, but like if you stood on your skateboard at one end of the parking lot, you would start to slowly roll just like go to the other side. And I can remember using like that downhill grade, and I like manualed like across 8 parking stalls like at one point. It was like the best thing I ever did on a skateboard.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was like, oh man, he did a wheelie for a kind of long time, but not that long.
What about skateboard art, dude? That was always a huge inspiration for me.
Oh yeah, like
I remember getting all the CCS or the CSS or whatever those free magazines were that everyone got in the mail.
dude, like Blind and World Industries, like
Yeah.
fucking loved those two companies for their art on skateboards back in like the early 2000s.
Those were so cool. I can't think of it. Like, yeah, the Blind had the Grim Reaper guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then World Industries they had the Flame and the Water Drop guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Those were
yeah.
tight. Those were sick.
I just love those art styles.
Oh my god. I
Yeah.
love they're so clean and graphic. Bold though. Oh my god.
Dude, I could see like a lot of like skateboard art like that influences your style too.
Yeah, well, it was a big part of growing up in high school when you kind of realized like, oh, you can kind of make a career out of this. Like people
Mm.
do this.
Yeah, like I tried getting back into it a couple years ago. Um I don't remember like what spurred me to get back into skating as like just as a viewer. But like I subscribe to the Braille channels
Yeah.
on YouTube, and forget, why do I forget his last name? But Nigel um
Um
from Braille. I can't
oh,
remember his
okay.
last
I'm not
name.
sure.
But Nigel, he started Nigel Jones, I think might be his last name. Anyway, he started a skateboard company a couple years ago called Spread the Shred. And
Spread the shred.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And like I like grabbed a couple skateboard images on off the internet and like slapped them into Photoshop, and I was like trying to like do like logo design and like skateboard designs and stuff, because I was like, shit, if I can like put together some like skateboard art and like fucking send it to this guy, I might be able to like get a job as an artist doing like
God,
deck
that'd be
design
so
and
cool.
stuff, which I thought would be really cool. And then just like, I don't know, I had like this idea of like a concept of like using butter as like the logo,
Oh yeah.
and like doing a bunch of like greasy, like splattery kind of artwork and stuff, and
I like that.
it just did not work out for me. Like I have too much of like a comic book style these days, like, and I just try, like, it just got to the point I was like over rendering everything.
Yeah.
Like that skateboard art like style does need to be like really clean and graphic, thick
Yeah.
lines, bright colors. It's just not what I like. I was just like, yeah, and then I'll put halftones over everything. I'm gonna crosshatch it all, and then it's just like, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. No, this is bad.
Dude, that would be the dream, to be a skateboard artist. Do they have that, or do they just outsource all that? No.
It depends. I mean, I
I'm
think
sure
a
there's
lot
a
of
few companies.
companies. I think a lot of companies do like freelance art, probably, but um, the company that sponsors a lot of people on Braille is Revive. I think is the deck company. Um, JP Couvert, I think, is the artist that does a lot of the stuff for Revive. I don't know if he does everything for them, but he does a lot. Like he's like the house artist, basically.
That's sick. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, he's a YouTube channel where he does like art and stuff and talks D&D. He's like drawn like D&D maps and stuff on there
Oh,
too.
that's tight.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah. No, you've I want to say like that I've seen on your Instagram, you've done skateboard art recently, haven't you?
I just painted on skateboards. I've never like gotten the big job to do any of that. But we did in town locally, we did a skateboard show, or I was invited to be an artist in the show.
Cool.
And local tattoo artist did it. We were raising money for a local skate park, and I was like, that sounds sick. I'll throw some acrylic paint on a skateboard. So he just dropped off a bunch of old busted boards, and I just painted on them. This was a few years ago now, but I think that might have been the last thing I've done on some skateboard. Oh no, I didn't. I love doing, like, even though part of me also hates it, But whenever there's a skateboard contest or any sort of design or illustration contest,
Yeah.
especially if it's a company I'm kind of into, I gotta do it. But part of me also, just from going to school, learning how to be an artist and how to make money doing it,
Mm-hmm.
part of me hates it. It's like, why don't you just hire someone to do this?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get those vibes too. It's just like, ugh, contests.
But
Just
at the
like,
same time, I'm not better than it, and I'll still try. Like Paps has a contest they do every year. They offer 10 grand. That's pretty good
yeah,
to
it's
come
pretty-
up with a can art. Like a lot of companies are not trying to spend 10 grand.
that's like more than I made all of last year on art.
Hell yeah.
So
You
that
gotta
would
try
be
it out.
nice.
I think they just ended this one, but yeah, dude, they do it
I don't
every
even
year.
know what to draw on a beer can.
Dude, look at the people that won. I think the people that win are thinking the same thing. They just draw whatever. None of it makes sense. It's awesome. Dude, just make Paps Man. What would Paps Man look like?
I would just draw like the greasiest, like hairiest, beer bellied, like hick looking, white wife beater,
Yeah.
like dirty jeans.
It's
Got
a
like a
wife beater, but it doesn't fit him.
yeah, oh no, not at all. Like it's like 3 sizes too small, his guts hanging out.
Yeah.
And
But his
then
nipples are taps, right? They gotta
they
be.
are now. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, they are
Yeah.
now. And he's like pouring himself a Paps from one of his own nipples.
Yeah.
He's got like he's got like a trucker hat that says like "jam out with your clam out" on it. And then
Yeah.
and then like the piece de resistance is like a blank "hello, my name is" name tag where you could like write your own name on the can.
Yeah. I like that. See right there. You just made it.
There you go.
Now you just gotta draw it.
Yeah, Paps, give
3
me
colors
10
or
grand.
something like that.
Paps,
Don't
give
use too
me
many
money.
colors. Yeah, give me the 10 grand.
Right
Just
now.
nailed it.
Yep. That verbal description, just put that on. Just put that on your can.
Yeah, well, that'd be pretty cool, Can. No one's doing that. No one's not drawing at all and just describing a drawing.
Put an audio file on your. Just put a QR code to an audio file on the
That'd be
can.
hilarious.
Oh man,
That's like anti-design. I love that stuff lately. Just like
Dude.
making the worst image you can, but still it's kind of attractive, because it still has like good color and the rule of thirds applies and it's flowing well, but it's just stupid. Like
Yes,
kind
the
of like
worst
meme
thing.
design.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really into it lately. It's not good.
Yeah, I
Starting
don't
to
know. I've
reflect.
gotten kind of lazy in my artwork recently.
What do you mean?
Well, I've done like
it.
so I've just I keep coming up with ways to do the web comic with like the least amount of effort possible.
Why do you
Like,
think that is? You're just getting burnt out on it?
No, I mean not the web comic per se, just like I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing. Like I just got a lot of projects going. And so when it comes to, like when it's a Wednesday and I'm like, okay, today's the day I got to do the web comic. Oh god, I got to do the web comic and I got 8 other projects that I'm working on. Why do I do this to myself? And it's just sort of like that. It's just like I don't have like a day that I take off like in the week. There's like Sundays and Wednesdays are like less intense of a work day, but I still like I can't let myself not do anything.
Right. I'm the same
And-
way, where I always got to be doodling.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Sundays I do a lot of video editing, and then Wednesdays is like the web comic and the blog. But I did one recently called Insomnia, where I literally like I sketched up like the figure of Fonkin, like the little gnome in my comics. in like, my red line pencils that I do, right?
Yeah.
And I I just copied that in the same pose, all 4 panels. And then the first one was like fully inked and colored, and he was like, "Oh God, I'm so tired." And then I forget like what the rest of like the words and stuff were, but like the second panel was just inking, no color. The third panel was just the scribble gesture of him, and then the fourth panel was the scribble gesture of him, but the rest of the panel was fully colored and inked, and it was the other character in the comic, Milos, and he's just like, fully rendered Milos, and he's just like looking at the little gnome going like, Fonkin, you're not the same when you're tired.
I like that.
It's just slowly just like deteriorating throughout the panels. And it's all because I literally had slept like 2 hours that night, and I just so tired. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
I
dude.
do not want to ink and color an entire 4-panel comic, even though it only takes me like 2.5 hours to do that anyway. It's just like, nah. Just like, here, copy and paste and paste and paste.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. It's awesome, dude. It reflects what you were going through. That's sick. Also, I
Yeah.
just followed you. That's terrible. We've known each other for quite a bit, and I wasn't even following your Instagram. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Hey, no worries.
Oh my God.
I barely post anything there anyway.
What a jerk, dude. I suck.
Oh, no, you're fine. Hey, but speaking of Instagrams and other things, let's have the audience listen to a couple of ads.
Hell yeah.
We got an Anchor ad for them to listen to. We've got the Patreon ad for them to listen to, and then a Legendcraft ad. We're gonna do that now, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Don't skip those ads. You can listen to them. I need that 1 penny per listen or whatever
Please.
it is. Dear God, I
Need it so
have
bad.
I have children. I don't have children.
Yeah, I need it.
I don't.
Don't tell them that.
I have a goldfish.
Yeah, the goldfish needs to eat. It's
Yeah.
starving.
Exactly. Do you want to class up your gaming? Are you sick of card tables and cheap plastic sleeves for your character sheets? Do you like real wood and are convinced magnets are the only magic we have left in our current age of science? Then head over to legendcraft.ca to spruce up your tabletop gaming setup. They offer felt top gaming tables with add-ons like cup holders, tablet holders, dice trays, roll boxes, and more. Newly released in January 2021 is their Magna Tracker system. With versions for both health and spell tracking, these sleek and stylish tracking boards come with magnetized tracking pips that allow you to slide them back and forth along clean-cut channels, making tracking your health and spell slots easy to use and read, all without the constant erasing and writing on your character sheet. And did I mention that both the Magna Trackers and the tables are customizable and personalizable? That's right. Your table and or Magna Tracker will be one of a kind when you order at Legendcraft. Legendcraft is partnering with me to offer you a 5% discount on your orders at legendcraft.ca. That's right, you can get a 5% discount when you enter the code F_ART at checkout. That's F_art. Go to legendcraft.ca. That's legendcraft.ca with discount code F_art for 5% off. Legendcraft.ca. Order today. If you like this podcast and would like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Folsham_art. With as little as $1 per month, you not only support Thought Balloons and get to submit questions to be answered by myself and the guest host, but you will also have access to my webcomic 3 to 4 weeks before the release to the public and my weekly update blog. At higher tiers, you'll gain access to full issues and short story comics, and you can even see progress and add input to projects I'm working on.
That's patreon.com/FOULSHAM_ART to support Thought Balloons today.
Welcome back to the Thought Balloons podcast with I Can Be Danny. I hope
We're
everybody
back.
enjoyed those ads. You better have listened to them.
I did. I liked them. Do you think they listened to them though?
They better have.
Yeah. Otherwise, what? You gonna ground them?
Yeah. I'm gonna ground them, send them to their room,
Yeah.
and then make them listen to all the other podcasts that
Yeah.
I've done.
And mostly just the ads.
Yeah, just the ads on repeat.
That's terrible. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know. I really, the only one I really care about, to be fair, is all of them, but particularly that Patreon ad. For just $1, people can ask us questions. We haven't gotten any questions yet. That's usually how I like to end. That's how, like, eventually I would like to end the podcast that way. It'd be cool, little viewer feedback, or maybe they want to like ask us some advice or something, and have like the guests like pick out a question, and we can answer that at the end of the podcast. But we're not there yet.
We'll get there.
We'll get there in maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. But
yeah,
during the break there, I shared with you some artwork that I had done. Very gross. I'm not going to put that on screen and like force people to look at that. But you are a master of the gross and the slimy, and then we talked a little bit about you just having that as a sense of humor. But is there like anything else? Like, what is like, why like why do you draw like that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I think it's, again, because I find it really funny. And for a while, when I first got out of school, I was doing a lot of portraits and stuff. And then they slowly started getting a little bit more abstract, as they do, as an artist usually does. And then I just got so bored of all of it. Like, I got so bored of trying to render a face, because they have to look like faces, otherwise they just don't look good,
Right.
Like, if you're painting somebody's face and you misplace the nose, there's like, or don't do any, if it doesn't look good, it just won't look good. And I hated it. So I just kind of reverted back to the skateboard art and doodles I did. But I did them much worse. And now the problem is I can't tell when it's gone too far. when I've truly drawn something horrible, if I'm doing it on stream and the chat goes, that's not good. Like, that's really bad. Like, you shouldn't put that anywhere. That's when I'm like, uh-oh, I need to get outside more.
I mean, does that happen though? Because
sometimes, not too often. People are pretty. The people that hang out with me already know what's going down,
right?
But sometimes it gets bad.
And I'm a bad influence on you. I mean, I like whenever you start going like really, really far, and I'm just like, yes, this is more. This, please.
Yeah. What if you added a nipple to that nipple?
Yeah. Like, it reminds me, I was drawing a barbarian on stream one day, and someone asked, like, I hadn't drawn his hand yet, one of his hands yet, and it was like, where's his other hand? I was like, oh, it's right here. And I just drew a hand coming out of his nipple, like a little arm, like a little nipple arm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, but I love like, ever since like I discovered your streams and like started hanging out with you, like I've just like been putting more and more of that kind of stuff in my own art, because I like it too.
Yeah.
Like, it's
well,
just
it was
fun.
I didn't think people would like it, and then I happens chance just kind of bumped into my buddy Artsy Fartsy, and and then I was like, oh, people like it. So okay.
Yeah, because he does like some pretty weird, like,
he does pretty horrible stuff too. Yeah, he's pretty horrible.
Like horrible, but in like the best way.
Yeah, and then we hang out quite a bit, so it's like we're both talking just horrible stuff, and then I'm like, what if we just drew that? and then it
Man.
just goes. It gets worse and worse. It's awesome.
I wish I could spend more time in his streams, but his energy is too much for me.
Yeah,
He's a handful.
yeah. I love that. I think it's hilarious.
I was like, I don't know. I was always a guy that was more into like the herbal remedies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not like not into uppers.
none
Just like,
uppers. Yeah, I
man.
get that. But that's what's cool about Twitch is that you can just bump around till you find someone that you really jive with.
Yeah, I feel like you're a good level of energy for me. Like,
I try to go right in between. Because
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I get tuckered out. I tucker myself out. So it's like you got to find that good amount of energy where you can just keep it at that level.
right. Yeah.
And it's hard to do it. But
And that's like when I'm worried. Like, Arcee's just on all the time,
I don't know how he does
like
it.
running, going at 100 miles an hour the whole show, and I'm just
He'll
like,
do that for
wow.
8 hours straight, easy.
It's like, how do you do that? He's
I
a young
don't know.
man.
I don't know.
He's a young man. You know, it must be a lot of coffee, and he probably doesn't have sleep apnea.
No, probably not.
gets a good night's sleep.
Probably. Probably shuts his eyes and actually goes to sleep.
Right?
Wonder what that's like.
I don't know. I'm too laden with anxieties to be able to do that.
I just lay awake and think about the next drawing sometimes, and it's horrible. I hate it.
So, do you get better sleep during October then?
What do you mean?
Well, because in October you do just a bunch of drawings of Paul Blart. So you
Oh
you
yeah,
really
yeah.
need
I hate
to-
it. I don't know if we're gonna do that ever again.
You've done that what 3 times now? 4
Only twice.
only twice?
Yeah, but this second one was kind of like near the end. I was like, this, and then I did a stupid 12-hour stream where I drew like 200 blarts,
Oh my god.
and that sucked. But it was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
sucked to like, come on. I was drawing for 12 hours. That's
Yeah.
pretty good life, but
Yeah. No,
But-
I get it. Like, like I can commiserate. Like there are times when, I've said it on the podcast before, but I had like an old, one of my old professors was like, art is work. You know, it's not always fun.
right.
You know, like usually you can like look back on it and be like, okay, I put my best foot forward. You know, and even if there's places you can see that you need to like improve on, because we all have that self-critical eye, but like. If you know that you put the work in, like you can usually be proud of it. So like,
Right.
in the moment it can be torturous, but like looking back on it, you drew 200 blarts.
Yeah. Well, looking back on it again,
It's an
I
accomplishment.
sat in the basement and I drew Paul Blart, and people watched. Like, okay, that's a dream for me.
Yeah. Hell
That's
yeah.
fine. But so, as I am one that usually really likes to just beat a dead horse, I love just taking a joke and just making it go way too long. I think that's hilarious to me. I don't know if I can do Paul
Like
Blarttober another
62
time.
days long.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it, but I might. Part of me is like, I have to do it.
You're still recuperating. By October, you'll be ready to do it.
Yeah, that's actually how the second one happened too. By September, people were like, "You're gonna do Blarttober again?" I'm like, "Well, if you're asking, I guess I'm doing." Like, I guess I gotta. So
How did you land on Paul Blart of all characters?
it was? We were making fun of Inktober, because you know how
Yeah.
Inktober goes. Like, it's the easiest thing to make fun of, and all the tobers are pretty easy to make fun of. And I was like, "Oh, what if we made a tober? Or what if I made my own tober?" And my buddy was like, "Yeah, what's something that'd be like really terrible?" And then we were just naming stuff, and Paul Blart came up, and I hadn't even seen the movie at that time. And I was like, "Yeah, what if I just drew Paul Blart every day for an entire month and made like a prompt list, but it all just said Paul Blart." And like, really, and then like we were trying to figure out what makes a Paul Blart. Just like a
Yeah,
big
the
guy with a
concept.
mustache.
What was the concept? What is the essence of blart?
Yeah, the essence of blart is
I also like I have looked at the prompt lists and I do like they are different. A lot of them are the same, but there are differences. I think there was one that was ball plart. I
yeah.
think was one of them, and
And then there's a blurt,
yeah, a blurt.
but it's
Some
still
of them
Paul
are
Blart.
capitalized, some are not.
Yeah, you still do Paul Blart. The prompt doesn't matter as long as it's Paul Blart. But it's so stupid. But again, I love that stupid joke.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
like-
it works.
I don't know. I might have to try it. I might have to do it again.
Yeah, third
But
time's the
I was
charm.
noticing this year there wasn't as many Tobers this past,
Well,
Like, I
this
remember-
past year there was like I can't remember what it was because internet brain. But there was like something. There was the guy who like started Inktober came out with a how to ink book or something like that. It was like based around Inktober. And apparently some of the pages, like the layouts of the pages, leaked, and some other artist who had done an inking tutorial book like called him out for plagiarism or something because the layouts and stuff were like really similar.
wow.
And like everybody started protesting Inktober this past year.
Okay.
So like,
You didn't
out
see
of
a
just
lot of Tobers.
self-preservation, I think, people
Well,
kind of
there's-
stayed away from Inktober, and that was like the biggest one.
The
I
worst one
used-
ever is Mermay.
Oh God.
Did you ever
I
see
don't-
that one?
Thank God I have not, but I already know exactly what it is, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was drawing all like aqua things. Like you draw fish May 1st. May 2nd
thought
was
it
like
was
draw a
just-
shark.
Oh,
And then
that's not as
and then
bad.
there was
All right.
mermaids in there, but it was
I
like
thought it was all just mermaids.
that'd be pretty good though. But I think some of those prompt lists are so stupid, and I just wanted to rip on it so bad. So that's how we did it. We did how I did it, I guess. Blarktober.
See, I kind of like them as like when I did Inktober, the first 2 years that I did it, 2018, I tried it, and I was like still in school at that point, so I didn't finish it. But I used them as like warm-ups.
Yeah.
Like when I was like getting ready to like do other stuff during the day, I'd like bust out a quick sketch.
Yeah, well,
and
don't
it
get me
was-
wrong. Like a prompt list is sick, but I remember reading artists, like fellow artists, being like so stressed out because of Inktober. It's like, well, then don't do it, dude. like,
Yeah.
Why are you stressing out if you're gonna draw a ring or not? Like, just
Right?
don't do it.
Yeah, and let's see, the weird thing about it is like the guy who started all that, like the Inktober thing specifically, if you like look at the website, is like it's just a thing to like get artists to do more art. Like it's not like and it's meant for like normal people to like get back into the hobby or like increase their activity within the hobby of drawing,
Right.
For like people like us, like it's just like an extra thing that's fun to do, and you might get a little internet traction out of it or something,
Right.
right? But like we're already drawing every day. It's not like, the whole spirit of it is to get you drawing more. Like we're already drawing every day. We don't need to be drawing more.
Right. Yeah.
And like it even says within the thing, like make it your own goal. Like you don't need to do all 31 prompts. Like do one drawing a week if you haven't drawn in 4 months, or like do one every other day, like or whatever, So yeah, stressing yourself out about it is ridiculous.
I'm gonna do a Breaktober where I take the entire month off.
Just disappear from the internet for a
Yeah,
whole
no
month.
drawing or internet for an entire
Yeah.
month.
Oh god, that would be sad.
Yeah,
Miss
it'd
your
be pretty
streams
hard.
for October.
I don't think you could do it. I don't think I could do it.
I wouldn't let myself do it.
Right.
I wanted to take a break at the end of the year from streaming just to like not have to like, work. But
Right.
I instead ended up just reading comics on stream.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Instead of working and drawing and stuff. It's and I don't know. I mean, I don't have like a huge following or anything on Twitch. So it's like probably doesn't even matter. But like it was just one of those things of like I see people like they take like a significant amount of time off, and then when they come back their audience is like decimated.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
they have like it takes a while for them to get back to like where they were because people will find other stuff to watch during
Yeah.
that time.
Well, there's tons of content out there.
Yeah, so like if one of your go-to places drops off, you're gonna something else is gonna fucking go into that time slot, right?
Yeah, easy though. Something fills
Yeah.
in that spot easy.
Yeah, and then it's just like, well, now I'm watching this, and so you don't go back to the other thing, right?
Right, I get that, and that's
Yeah.
a little scary too. But I guess you can't worry about it too much because
Yeah,
that'll take up your whole time.
true. That's why, like, when I feel like I need a break from streaming, like, I'll take a day off here and there. But like, if I feel like I need a break from streaming, I'll typically just substitute a stream for something that I'd rather be doing, and I'll just do it on stream.
Yeah, you can throw a game on or something like.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't typically game on stream, but it'll be like more like, man, I really feel like I should be writing today. And I'll just have my Google Doc up on stream and I'll just be writing. I don't really care if it's boring. Like
That's pretty cool, though.
Like one of the things that like I was really scared about in the beginning was like no one's gonna want to watch me stare at the computer screen, picking my nose and like not doing anything as I try and think of what to write.
Yeah, you just got to force them to like it.
Yeah.
You just keep doing it.
And then
Make 'em
eventually
like it.
I was just like, I haven't written anything in a really long time, so I'm gonna write some stuff. Like I gotta do it.
Yeah, I
That's
like that.
originally why I started streaming art, is like I just wasn't doing it. I was doom scrolling all day long on like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and I was just like, yeah, but if I start Twitch streaming, then I'll actually do work because I can't doom scroll on Twitch. Like, because anybody could come in at any moment and they're going to want to be seeing some artwork or something.
Yeah.
And so the constant fear of potential viewers just kept me working. And so I've
That's
done
pretty
that a
awesome.
few times with writing too. Just like, well, here's 4 hours that I'm going to do writing because I'm on stream, and I won't let myself do other things because what if somebody comes in? What if somebody's interested in writing?
Yeah, that's
They wanna
pretty
see
sick
someone
though.
writing.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it. I did it because I was like, someone was already doing it, and I was like, what if I could turn this into a show?
Mhm.
And I like in high school, I was big into video production,
Nice.
and we did a newscast like every week. And for me, I was so pumped to like have to stay after school and like edit the pieces and
Oh,
try
yeah.
to fit them all together, and I loved that. So this is kind of like it's my own now with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, it's crazy what we can do now compared to then.
Yeah, I mean, you have like multiple cameras set up in like different like areas of your like little basement studio, and
Yeah, I used to have more cameras set up, but I've kind of streamlined it to just one now because it was just too much. And it was like too much to worry about. So you got to take some of the stress out.
it's just one camera now, really?
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Just different scenes.
I guess I haven't noticed. Like, you don't have the like the stand-up area anymore?
I do. Yeah, it's just I just went full green screen now, so I can just walk.
Okay.
I can just walk back there now.
Gotcha.
So I just changed the angle of the camera. So now I just need to figure out what to do with these other cameras. But we're working on some other things that I'm not really talking about behind the scenes. some
Fair.
new shows coming up that I'm pretty excited
Ooh.
about. We've been working on them for a long time. Me
I
and
like that.
and somebody else, and I'm getting really excited to finally release that secret. I hate secrets and I'm bad at them.
Oh, me too.
So it's just like I've been working behind the scenes on this thing, and I'm like, let's just do it. Like,
Yeah.
let's stop
Yeah.
thinking and just do it. I'm tired of talking about it.
Dude, literally, like I don't typically like make New Year's resolutions and stuff. But for me, like 2021 is the year of fuck it, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Because I
Like
felt
it's
like,
literally why I started the podcast that we're doing right now is like I've had the idea to do a podcast for about a year now, and I just never pulled the trigger on it because I was like, well, who am I? Like nobody knows me. Like I'm not the one that they're going to be coming and listening to, you know. And then I was like, and like who are the guests that I'm going to get on? Like I can't get Jim Lee, like you know,
Yeah.
like as a guest.
maybe you
And
could hit
I
him up.
mean, I honestly haven't reached out to him. Maybe he would come on the podcast. Maybe I should just
Dude, you should do a
Hail
collab
Mary
stream.
it. I'll just Hail Mary Jim Lee.
Hell yeah.
And then I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I know I have friends who are interesting people. I'm just gonna fucking bring my friends on the show. Talk to my friends.
I've been always pretty huge on just doing stuff. I spent a lot of years just talking about shit, even just talking about how I used to paint. You know, there was like a few years where I really wasn't doing a lot of work, working a shitty job. And I was like, yeah, you know, I like to do stuff. Let's just do it. It doesn't feel good just to talk about
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
I hate that. So just even if the idea isn't fully fleshed out, just learn along the way.
Hell yeah. And that's sort of like with the blog that I have like on my Patreon is like I'm constantly talking about the projects that I'm working on. And even though I only have like a handful of people subscribed to it, I don't even know if any of them read the blog. But like just putting it out there and saying that like I'm making progress on this, like I'm doing this project, I'm doing that project. Oh, I'm starting to work on this other thing. Like I don't know, it like sort of forces like accountability in a certain weird way. So like
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, well, there's like maybe 4 people who know about this thing now. And like, well, I can't let them down. Like, I can't just not do it, you know? Now I've got like, you know, half a dozen things that I'm working on. So like, they're all very slow going. But, you know, like this, over the last week, there was like one day that I sat down and I made like some significant progress on the Ozrin Tales graphic novel that I've been working on very slowly for like the last year.
Hell yeah.
And like I you know, I did the first issue of it when I was in college, and the second issue finished up right after I graduated, and then the third issue came out like late 2019. And then ever since then I've worked on smaller comic projects, but I don't know, it was hard to write the second story arc for that comic series. And then I was like, fuck it, I need to know where the characters are going and what they're doing, and then I need to write the story backwards. Like I need to know what the ending is and then how to work towards that. And so that's
Hell yeah.
basically what I've been doing for like months now. And it's hard, but
That seems really
I
difficult.
keep talking about it and it keeps me like working on it intermittently, so I
Yeah.
don't just give up on it.
Right. So people are asking you about it, and you can't just be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
oh
It's
yeah,
accountability.
I don't know."
So
Yeah,
like
that's huge.
just talking about stuff sucks, but I do think like talking about it with, you know, the right people gives you the accountability and the
That's
follow
true.
through.
Yeah, if you just jumped into everything, you'd have a mess on your hands with everything. So, you know,
Yeah.
you definitely have to talk about stuff, but I just want to do stuff.
Hell yeah. think a lot, like half the projects I'm doing too are like pretty low impact. Like, yeah, I'm putting a lot of like, I started doing time lapse art videos on my YouTube channel now.
Oh, that's cool.
Easy enough to just do the stream that I'm already doing and then download the stream and time lapse it and put it on YouTube. It's like an extra 20 minutes worth of work, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, double, triple the content, you know, depending on how many places I like use that footage.
That's awesome. That's a good idea.
And then, you know, podcast, pretty low impact. I just get to have a cool conversation with friends for, you know, maybe an hour and a half or so. And then fucking slap a couple EQ filters on it, toss
Dude,
it up on the internet.
You can't beat that. That's the
Hell
way
yeah.
to do it. Hanging out with buds, that's when the best stuff happens.
Right?
That's why you always got to pick someone that's like, not for like, for any project, someone that you're kind of tight with a little bit.
Yeah.
I've worked with plenty of people that we have no idea about each other. Like they kind of seen some of the illustrations I've done, but they like want this project done, and it's never good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
never good.
Yeah, that's why like whenever I have like a potential client, I'm like that like wants me to do like a logo or something. I was like, you know that I'm a character illustrator, right? Like
Yeah.
most of my stuff is like character art. I don't do logos. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like I like your character art, so I want you to do this logo for me. And I'm like, it doesn't translate.
Still doesn't. You're still not getting it.
and they're like, no, that's fine. And I'm like, all right, I'll take your money.
All right, sounds good. Here we go.
Yep. And I haven't had anybody say they hate the logos that I've made, but like,
That's good.
I was just like, you could probably spend like $50 more and get someone who actually does logos. And like, I don't know, it just be like imposter syndrome talking. Like maybe the stuff I've done is actually good and I just don't know it. Cause there was like people in design classes that I was in school that were like just way better than me at design. And I don't know, like during, you know, group critique and stuff, they'd always be like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's on.
But like
it
their
works.
feedback was like, oh, you like the way you balance like negative space and like, you know, the color choices and you know, like people had like legit feedback for them and like everyone else was like, oh, you tried, Jeff.
Yeah, that's good.
Like you tried. I was like, yeah, I know.
I like that.
I was like, can't we just draw comics? And they're like, no, you have to learn about kerning and leading. And
How are you gonna? You can't make a career out of that.
Yeah, you can't draw silly books. You have to. You have to draw a yellow M for a clown, and that's how you're gonna make a money.
I went to. That's what my parents thought. When I decided I wanted to be an art major, they were like, "Well, you got to go into design. That's the only way to make any money."
Right.
And I mean, they're kind of right, I guess. But
yeah, but
it sucks.
What's more important, money or my sanity?
Right. Exactly. 100%. I already did all that stuff. I don't want to do that again. It's no good.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I have good mental health and just enough money to buy some ramen so I don't starve?
Yep. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Right? Oh man, it's tough though, you know. It's tough. Hopefully once I get the like the comic scripts all done and everything, and I don't know. I might pitch it to some publishers. Let's see if I can.
Why not?
Actually get a
dude, you got the chops for it. It's right around the corner for you.
One day. I mean, I already have like gotten some like paid comics gigs. I'm just really bad at like searching for jobs because I'd rather be doing my own thing.
Right.
which is like, but it's also really hard because I don't like the the promoting.
Right.
I don't.
I don't like that stuff either.
I don't even know how to do it.
Right.
Like, I think one of
This-
the biggest complaints I had about art school is like, I almost feel like I should have gotten like a marketing minorship, like minor, or like a business minor or something like that, just to like know how to like make it profitable.
Right. I mean, we probably all could use a little bit of that, but
Yeah.
that's boring stuff.
It is. It is, but it's important stuff.
Yeah, as soon as you say the word algorithm, I tune you out. Like
SEO algorithm.
Yeah, no. Stop it.
Synergy.
You.
Vertical integration.
I
Just
my
hear crickets
advisor-
and snoring. Danny
my
falling asleep.
my advisor in school told me to take a marketing class, and I didn't take any of the prerequisites that we were supposed to take for that.
Oh god, yeah.
And my advisor didn't know about it because he was in. I got like, of course, I got the 70-year-old tenured advisor. He's like, I don't know, take that. And I damn near failed. And I remember just having to go, schmooze to the professor, and he'd be like, why are you in this? I'd be like, because he told me to. He's like, well, you're not the first artist I've had in here. I'm going to have to go talk to him and tell him to stop doing that. So I did some extra credit, and I think I scraped by with like a C, but
Yeah.
it was brutal, dude. It was so brutal. All
I
those
can't-
words, I don't like them.
What was there was a class? I don't remember which one it was. But there was a class that they waived the prereqs for me to get into. I don't remember what it was. Luckily it was an art class though. So like an
Oh.
actual like art class. It wasn't like design or anything like that. But so like I didn't die in it, but like don't, hey kids out there, and all you kids going into college, don't skip prereq class. It's
Yeah.
not good.
No,
There are prerequisites for a reason.
right.
Like, yeah, you kind of need to know that information.
Definitely
The
need
whole
that
class
stuff.
is built on you knowing that information.
You're gonna sit there scratching your head forever, dude. Not
Yeah,
worth
it's
it.
like, oh, I've taken 3 years of Spanish. Okay, time to take Japanese 501.
Yeah,
Because that's the same thing. You've got it, right? You took a foreign language.
Yep.
It's hard.
Just take them in order. You're not some genius.
Right? I mean, and if you are, why are you listening to this podcast?
Yeah.
You should be out there like cracking the space-time continuum.
Yeah. What are you doing? You're wasting your time, dude.
Yeah, go do some science, nerd.
This is a podcast for dummies.
Yeah. And this is the part of the episode where we just become grossly belligerent and make fun of the audience. Oh man, yeah. Wouldn't that be? That'd be a fun podcast.
That
Just
would
like-
be.
I wonder if we could make that a thing. Just
Well,
like
first you have to have a few episodes where you like people that really get to know you,
yeah.
and then
Hey,
you
that's
just got a
this,
180 on them.
This is like episode 14 or something. They should know me pretty well by now. Now this is it. This is the turning point.
Well, I think next episode you just totally 180 on
Yeah.
them. You
I
open the
should,
podcast with like, "Hey, losers."
Yeah. I'll get who's that guy that does the Comedy Central roasts? His name's also Jeff, right? There's like a guy. he's like a-
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
yeah, me either. I'll just bring him in and we'll just make
Yeah,
fun
that'd
of
be
the
great.
audience the whole time.
I really like that.
It'd be fun. Oh man. But yeah, dude, is there any thoughts that you want to like leave with the audience about like life or art or whatever?
When it comes to art, I'd say whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing is good, and you can't let yourself get down on you. Just keep going,
Yeah,
and it's only gonna get better. And I know everyone says that, but it's so damn true.
it really
You're
is.
gonna keep getting better and better, and especially the biggest piece of advice is, and it's so simple, is literally just draw every day,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just scribbling.
Yeah.
Like those scribbles will then turn into a stick figure real quick. And from there, dude, you just once you can draw a stick guy, you're gonna go crazy. So like just don't even listen to if it I know a lot of people get so like, oh, I can't draw. That's why I hang out on Twitch and watch art. It's like, yeah, but have you tried? Just do it. Just do stuff.
You know, a lot of us artists, we were interested in it as kids and never stopped,
Right.
We're,
And
we're in our 30s now and we've been doing it for like 25 years.
we draw every day, and sometimes our shit still sucks too.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
working on drawing the other day. I was like, I hate this. This is terrible.
Yeah,
But
I
you just keep going.
drew Necron from DC Comics the other day and I was like, man, the proportions off on this, and Hal Jordan is like in the picture real small and he looks all janked up. I probably could have done that better. Everybody has an off day. And I
Right.
think, it's as far as like people like lacking confidence, right? It's the artist's fallacy, right?
Yeah.
In the idea of like by doing you are practicing,
Right.
and practicing makes you better. So like, yeah, like what like what you said is true. Doing it like you're doing your best in the moment. Like even if it comes out and you're, comparing yourself to other people is terrible. Don't
Yeah. That's
like
dumb.
you can like analyze other people's artwork and like kind of like figure out like what they're doing and then try and practice that and practice those things like if you really like what they're doing, like I think that's good. But to say like, oh man, this guy's so much better than me, I'm never gonna be like that good. Well, you will be if you keep practicing.
Yep.
Like, and
Just keep doing stuff.
another thing to know is like your style is never gonna be anybody else's style.
No, never.
So like, and if I can get like super nihilistic here for a second, but like a lot of times the people that we view as inspiration are older than us, right?
Right.
And they've been doing it a lot longer than us.
That's a good point.
And eventually they're going to get old and die. And they're not going to get any better after that.
And then you can crush them.
And then you're still going to be alive. And you're
Yeah.
going to keep getting better. And eventually over, when all things are considered equal, you'll be just as good as they are. And a bunch of little kids are coming up and they'll be looking at you saying, holy shit, I wish I was as good as that guy.
Oh my God, it's never ending.
And then eventually you'll grow old and die and they'll catch up to you and some other generation will be looking at them, and it's never ending. It's a cycle.
That means I need to make some truly disgusting stuff so no one will draw it.
You know what? I believe in you, Danny. I think you can do it.
Something horrible.
You need to put like vomit inside a bubble of a booger.
Oh my
with,
God.
like pimples in it.
Oh my God. No, not after what you showed me. I'm good. I'm not drawing pimples.
But it's really easy. It's like a red soft edge brush and then
Yeah,
a
but it's
yellow
horrible.
soft edge brush on top.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
yellow, I can't do the yellow part.
Yeah, it's filled with pus and
Yeah,
blood.
Even that gets me. How'd you do that?
It's because you inspire me. I was like, what would Danny do? And then I was like, how can I make it worse?
Yeah. What would he do and how can I make it worse? I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for
you
having me,
like
dude. This
toss
was fun.
out, like let people know where they can find you on the internet.
Right now, twitch.tv, I can be Danny. skateboardart.com. No, that's not how that works. And then check out my Instagram. Do it. I dare you. It's I Could Be
Yeah.
Danny. It's the same name.
Hell yeah. All lowercase, no underscores.
Yeah,
I Can
no,
Be Danny.
none of that.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. I had a lot of fun talking with you.
Dude, thank you. And this was awesome.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/I Could Be Danny, Instagram, I Could Be Danny, OnlyFans, I Could Be Danny.
Yep. You don't want to see that though.
You can get them all over the internet. Streams 8 days a week for 35 hours a day.
Yep. It's horrible. I'm actually streaming right now.
Yeah, this whole thing has already been live streamed. If you missed it. Well, that's on you, nerds.
Get with it, idiot.
Yeah. Time to bash the audience again. All right, cool. Join me next week when my permanent co-host moving forward is Danny, and we're just gonna make fun of all the nerds that listen.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely tune in.
Oh man, well, this has been fun. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for listening to this podcast. If you've made it this far and haven't gotten mad at me and left for making fun of you, I'm sorry, and we'll see you next week.